Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on which part of the world everyone who's connected to the symposium is. And welcome to the GEO Symposium 2020, our first virtual symposium. My name is Andiswam Lisa. As you'll see on the agenda, I'm one of the program board co-chairs. I'll be chairing the first session, which is just the opening session. We don't have that long speeches for opening session, but we do have housekeeping, orientation, and sort of like taking you around what we should be expecting of the symposium in the next couple of days. So firstly and foremost, I would like to thank the GEO Secretariat, the Director and the rest of the staff in the Secretariat, Rick, Wenbo, and all of those who've done the work behind the background for bringing the virtual GEO Symposium to far. And of course, the subgroup that was responsible for this, and we've got the co-chairs of that subgroup with us in the opening ceremony, Kathy and Kerry. Thank you so much for actually making this possible. And of course, to you, the participants sitting at home in offices, garden in the park somewhere, and maybe some of you are even sailing. I woke up thinking I wish I was going sailing today. It's so freezing in South Africa. The Greek islands would be so nice. But welcome, and thank you so much for those who are staying up late and those who are waking up in the morning to join the symposium. There's also the presenters who've actually been called on to put their presentations and get their presentations on videos. Thank you so much for being so supportive with the logistics of getting us to this far. It's quite a rich program. And I'm not going to get into that because the co-chairs of the symposium subgroup will give you all those details, and it's very rich mainly because of you and your contributions and your support and your thoughts in terms of what we could actually do. So without further ado, I would like to say welcome to our first virtual symposium, GEO 2020, and I hope that the next couple of days would be quite an interesting days and learning as usual, and also engaging. So I'm looking forward to robust discussions as we usually have. And I know our convening power, we normally talk about it being person to person, but we're now experiencing the convening power in a different manner virtually. Okay, without further ado, I think I'm going to start with our first speaker, and that will be the GEO Secretariat Director, Gilberto. I believe the Secretariat has a message to play us on that, yes? You win.
Hello and welcome to the 2020 GEO Virtual Symposium. I am Gilberto Câmara, I am Director of the GEO Secretariat, and it's my pleasure, on behalf of the whole Secretariat team who has organized the symposium, and the Symposium Organizing Committee, to welcome you all from all over the globe to this symposium. The symposium is an yearly organized event by the GEO community, where important topics related to the activities of the Group on Earth Observations are highlighted. And we have always to remember what our main goal is. Our main goal is to support our member states, 110, our participating organizations,
Well, guys, I can't explain this.
Rick, do you want maybe to, and I'm sure you've done this, of course, to test just playing on your side and see if it plays, or because I see that
I'm playing it on my side. That's the thing. I'm playing just a normal YouTube video on my computer. There's nothing special about it. I'm really very.
Okay. So Carrie and Kathy, would you be able to go live rather than the video? Okay, because that would be
conventional climate change, the conventional desertification, the sustainable development goals, the Sendai framework, the conventional biological diversity, the Minamata Convention, the new urban agenda. All of these are treaties that our countries have signed into, and we have obligations and pledges and expectations to meet. And we believe that Earth observations are extremely important to measure our planet, to understand what is going on in all areas of the world, in a way that only repeated observations and quality, measurable public observations can provide. We're living through a unique event in our lifetimes, a global pandemic which has turned the world upside down. It has shown us the fragility of the human race and our powerlessness sometimes to deal with unexpected events. But it has also shown something quite important: the power of information, the need for information, the usefulness of information. And what have we learned? We have learned that in matters of common good, information needs to be timely, it needs to be of quality, it needs to be fully public. Any information that means important things to the society has to be completely shared and open. And this is the credo by which GEO has been created and it operates. We firmly believe that our countries will become better and will be able to better deal with the challenges of global change, the challenges of our expanding urbanization, the challenges of increased natural disasters, the challenge of preserving our biodiversity and combating desertification, the challenge of poverty, the challenge of food security. They will be better equipped to decision-making and to science-informed decision-making by using Earth observations. And the aim of GEO is not only to promote open data for Earth observation, but open means of exploring that data. So a lot of the work in GEO is obviously concerned about open data policies, but it does not stop there. The work of GEO also includes how to reproduce, how to share, how to pass on that information required to extract meaningful decision-making indices from data. We have to remember that data by itself does not talk. You know, if you have a number of data coming related to the COVID pandemic and you don't understand what that mean in the context of the country, in the context of the city, in the context of the world, it's very hard to make sense of data by itself. That's why we need shared, open data, open source, open tools, open science. The culture of openness is built on the DNA of GEO. And it's absolutely necessary for the world to face the challenges that we have. And if there would be any doubt that openness and transparency are key to a better world, the pandemic has taught everyone a lesson. We cannot live in a world where information for the public good is not shared. It only hurts society for hiding information. Therefore, GEO remains more than ever committed to openness, committed to transparency. And what you see in the next week is a full display of various actions we are taking to live up to this commitment, be it on the COVID, on the regional GEOs, on producing data cubes, on analysis data, on capacity development. These are all part of our DNA, all part of our culture, and all part of everybody's culture. So I hope we can take from this dreadful pandemic, which has taken so many lives, so many poor people, so many unprivileged people have been hurt, that it's more than ever time to forget about nitpicking and to think about openness. In fact, that's the only way we will be able to face other challenges which are, I would argue, as difficult to face as the COVID pandemic, and to which GEO is one of the beacons in terms of Earth's observations. Thank you so much, and have a nice week.
Thank you very much, Gilberto. Thank you for that. Our next speaker is going to be Kerry Sawyer. Kerry Sawyer is the executive officer of the Committee on Earth Observation Satellites. It's very rare for me to say this in full name, CEOS. And she's also a senior international relations specialist for the US NOAA. Kerry has been involved with GEO since 2008, and she's participated in the program boards and all of this, and she's a member of the subgroup that organized the symposium. Kerry, over to you.
Thank you, Anduswa. I think I have a presentation, recorded presentation, and Rick should, fingers crossed, be loading it now.
Hello, everyone. I am Kerry Sawyer, Executive Officer of the Committee on Earth Observation Satellites and co-lead of the GEO Program Board Symposium Planning Subgroup. In this role, I have the pleasure to welcome you to the GEO Virtual Symposium 2020 and provide you with an overview of the week ahead. We have over 1,300 registered participants to this virtual symposium, and I, along with my subgroup co-lead, Kathy Fontaine, the members of the planning subgroup, facilitators, moderators, and presenters, hope to keep all 1,300 participants awake, energized, and excited about GEO. As those of you who have participated in person to past GEO symposiums know, Chloe and Sachiko always warmly greet us at the registration desk. I wanted to make sure we did not miss Chloe and Sachiko's friendly smiles as we participate remotely. Here is our week at a glance. The goal of the virtual symposium is to simulate as much as possible the experience of an in-person session. We have brought everyone together virtually for 4 hours each day this week, with the exception of our daily 30-minute breaks, 60 minutes on Thursday. Unfortunately, we were not able to schedule this symposium at a civilized time to accommodate all the world time zones. So I take this opportunity to thank our colleagues in Asia and Australia for staying up late to be with us. We start here at our opening session and end here on Friday with our closing session. And in between, we have 10 long sessions and 4 short sessions planned. Each 90-minute long session includes a series of pre-recorded presentations, followed by live discussion, questions, and answers, with the facilitators and presenters online. Slido will be open for real-time questions. Please refer to the symposium website to view the week at a glance and daily schedule. The YouTube links for the videos are available on the website should you wish to replay the presentation or review a presentation prior to upcoming sessions. Wenbo will provide symposium logistics information in the next presentation. Our first session will be Earth observations for COVID-19 response and recovery. This session will highlight the value of this global network, present scientific approaches and preliminary findings, and provide recommendations that support Earth observations for public health applications. Our facilitators are John Haynes, Julie Tertange, Astrid Christina Koch, and Helena Chapman. And our presenters are Ben Zaitchik, Osamu Ochiai, Jorge Cabrera, Vincent Pauk, Carlo Bontempo, and Esti Garrity. Our second Monday session will be engaging UN agencies and intergovernmental organizations. Understanding whom, how, and when to engage UN agencies and other international organizations is important to help GEO support UN member states. It cuts across many of GEO's activities, from capacity development to resource mobilization, as well as outreach and international policy development. Speakers will present concrete examples of collaboration from the GEO work program. Our facilitator is Sarah Venturini, and our presenters are Joanna Post, Tom Harvey, Arji Cavada, Rhea Katsanakis, and Nicola Peroni. On Tuesday, our first session will be contributing to reproducible knowledge. In this session, the GEO work program activity leads are invited to demonstrate their experience in sharing data, codes, and other materials that are essential to reproduce knowledge through various platforms, including the GEO Knowledge Hub. Our facilitator is Paola De Salvo, and our Evolving GEOS moderator is Gregory Giuliani. Our presenters are Sophie Bontemps, Benjamin Gofar, Nosiseko Machii, Doug Kripe, Ivan Deloach, and Stefano Nativi. Our second Tuesday session will be Ask the GEO Program Board co-chairs anything. Well, not really anything, but the PB co-chairs do wish to be challenged with questions, so ask your toughest questions and be sure to submit them via Slido. Our third Tuesday session is Leveraging Advanced Technologies, focusing on data cubes, because who doesn't love a data cube? Our speakers will demonstrate how data cubes are applied to produce results. Our facilitators are Thierry Ranchon and Marie-Françoise Wadreau. And our presenters are Gregory Giuliani, Brian Killow, Gilberto Queiroz, Karine Ferreira, Van Juan, Rega Milczynski, and Gilberto Camara. On Wednesday, we begin with the GEOS Infrastructure Development Task Team, or GIT. I know there is a special way to pronounce this acronym, but we're going to have to wait until Wednesday for the correct pronunciation. This session will provide a comprehensive look at the various components of the GEOS infrastructure and their evolution. Our facilitator is Doug Kripe, and our presenters are Ivan Deloach, Stefano Nativi, Jos van Bemmelen, Paola De Salvo, and Natalia Donahoe. We have a short GEO midterm evaluation session where members from the MTE team will present their approach and preliminary results from the review. They will be available to answer questions from participants, and the discussion will provide the evaluation team with inputs directly from the GEO community. Our facilitator is Craig Larley. The third Wednesday session is Co-Designing Capacity Development, and this session is aimed to share examples on how the GEO flagships, initiatives, and regional GEOs organize and develop their capacity development program in a co-design process, and how this contributes to a results-oriented GEOS. Our facilitator is Joost Tobin, and our presenters are Andy Nelson, Alyssa Whitcraft, Sophie Siev, Rajesh Badur Thapa, Anastasia Wahome, and Hannah Albrecht. On Thursday, yes, day 4, for those of you that will still be with us, our first session is Focus on Impact, Regional GEOs. This session aims at discussing how to join efforts between GEO flagships and initiatives and the 4 regional GEOs. The 4 GEOs will start their presentation with an outline and then illustrate with concrete examples some of the mutually beneficial interactions they have established with the GEO activities. They will answer the question, why regional, and the unique benefits of acting regionally. Our facilitators are Jean Dussart and Wembo Chu, and our presenters are Phoebe Odor, Angelica Gutierrez, Hiroyuki Morioka, Jean Dussart, and Jos van Bemmelen. The second session on Thursday is Integrating Water and Coastal Datasets, and this session will aim to highlight the integration and applicability of water and coastal data sets to address coastal issues, including the demonstration of tangible examples on how it has been utilized by GEO initiatives. Our facilitators are Andrea Sequeira, myself, and Thierry Ranchon, and our presenters are Lea Mupastigi, Stephen Greb, Stephen Segar, and Amos Kaboba. Friday, the last day, we begin the day with monitoring essential variables session. This session is aimed to take a horizontal perspective on the good practices and lessons learned on how the various sets of EVs are developed, accepted, and used by their respective communities. Our facilitators are myself, Thierry Ranchon, and Andrea Sequeira. And our presenters are Simon Eccleston, Leticia Navarro, Gabriel Canonico, Frank Mueller-Karger, Anthony Lemon, and Yuan Masso. The last topical session is resource mobilization and sustainable funding. And this session will cover different funding sources, steps in contacting funders, how to align with topics most likely to be funded, and other practical advice. Our facilitators are Tia Mills and Kathy Fontaine, and our presenters are Justina Nichinska, Ian Jarvis, Anshe Hekelian, Pierre Letron, Nagaraj Harjadeep, Adam Lewis, and Casper Edmonds. Our closing session will include short highlights of the week and closing remarks from Gilberto Camara and Yvonne Petiteville. And since we are not together this year, I thought I would end my presentation with a few comforting views of Saliobasi and Lake Geneva, and hope we are all together soon again, safe and healthy, and able to share a laugh, a story, and a coffee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kerry. Thank you for that wonderful outline. And it's a nice, healthy week. So we're definitely all gonna still be around, including for Friday. Next up, we're gonna have Wenbo to tell us through on the logistics of the symposium. Wenbo Chu, most of you would already know because she is the work program officer at the GEO Secretariat. She talks to most of you work program leads and co-leads with regards making sure that we all stay engaged, coordinated, and we deliver according to the work program outlines. She coordinated the data sharing efforts within GEO between 2014 and 2017, first as a secondee from China and now as a staff member. So Wenbo, tell us how this week is going to look like in terms of logistics.
Thank you, Chair. I also have my presentation recorded. So let's go to recording. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am Wenbo Chu, GEO Work Program Officer and a member of the GEO Symposium Planning Team. On behalf of the team, I'm pleased
Okay, Wenbo, the video doesn't seem to be as pleased as you are. So let's try again, Rick.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am Wenbo Chu, GEO Work Program Officer and a member of the GEO Symposium Planning Team. On behalf of the team, I'm pleased to share a few tips for all participants to ensure the best virtual meeting experience. As Kerry mentioned earlier, we have 1,300 registered participants for this symposium. For such a big number of participants, we will only have the panel convened through a teleconference platform while the rest will follow the live streaming of the presentations and the panel discussion. There are 2 channels of live streaming with exactly the same content. One is YouTube, the other is CDN video. You could find the live streaming link from the symposium website and choose one of the channels to which you have the best access. To participate in the discussion, please post your questions in Slido, which you are able to use in either a browser or an application. The Slido code for this symposium has already been sent to all registered participants through email. Please note, we only take questions from Slido. Questions posted in YouTube or CDN video will not be answered. You are able to post questions before the session, during the session, and within 48 hours after the session is over. Please be sure to select your specific session before submitting your questions. During the live session, your questions will be directed to the panel by a facilitator. In case your questions are not answered at the session, the panel will do their best to answer them in writing within a week. The panel's presentations are pre-recorded and have been shared on the symposium website. Most sessions will screen pre-recorded presentations for you, while 2 sessions on Tuesday request you watch the pre-recordings before joining the live session, as they will not be screened for the live audience. These 2 sessions are contributing to reproducible knowledge and leveraging advanced technologies focusing on data cubes. That's all for the live audience. Next, a few logistical tips for the panel. As most of you are joining from home, firstly, you should ensure the maximum bandwidth of internet connection. Try closing all applications that you do not need for this session. If you share internet with your family members, please ask them to avoid as much as possible using the internet during the session. Secondly, we need you to stay in a private and a quiet place. Please inform your surroundings that you cannot be disturbed. It may be enjoyable to sit in the garden, but sounds of kids, pets, and birds may also be broadcasted. We don't recommend you to do that. Also, please put your phone on silent mode so it does not interfere while you talk. Thirdly, we invite you to turn on your camera during the session to have a visual contact with the audience. Then here, please make sure your face is well lit, preferably from the front, and use a neutral background. Lastly, we recommend that you use a headset to ensure the audio quality, but keep your microphone muted until you have the floor to talk. Above all, you are encouraged to connect 20 minutes before the session starts to test your connection, visibility, and audio quality. The GEO staff will be there to help you if needed. With that, I conclude the logistical instructions and wish you all enjoy the entire week.
You're muted on this one.
I was sure I pressed the button. So next up, we're going to have Kathy Fontaine. Kathy Fontaine is the Senior Research Scientist and Adjunct Professor at RPI. We all know Kathy, especially with her rich experience in Earth observation data, policies, ethics, as well as having been being in GEO for such a long time, starting with her career in NASA and now with RPI. Carrie, take us on.
Thank you very much, Andiswa. I have a very short presentation. I'd like to announce that we are opening the call for the 2nd Annual GEO Individual Excellence Awards. Launched today. The nomination phase is open today. Nominations are open until August 31st of this year. Details are on the GEO website for those of you who are interested. They will be loaded either right now or very soon. For the Individual Excellence Awards, we'll be looking at accomplishments demonstrated by concrete and measurable impacts over the last 5 years. Those could be new sustained community organizations, social and economic benefits to citizens and countries, anything that can demonstrate that from an individual perspective, having an impact on policies through Earth observation-related discussions, specific Earth observation language taken up in a sustained new forum, efforts that result in increased involvement in Earth observation-related initiatives with specific attention to representation, including diverse youth, gender, and geographic inclusion, or progress by a community, flagship, or initiative to develop new products, procedures, or policy-relevant research. We're looking for people who demonstrate innovation in style or approach to tackling challenges. And the nominees' efforts need to be consistent with GEO's core values and principles. We will be looking at a regional and gender balance as we evaluate these nominations, but I like to stress here that we are looking only at the past 5 years. A lot of folks like myself, who incidentally is not eligible to be nominated because I'm on the awards committee, please check that criterion before you submit who is eligible and who is not. A lot of people like myself have been involved for over a decade. The lifetime of GEO contribution is wonderful beyond my ability to express. However, this is only an award confined to the last 5 years, so please make sure that your write-ups reflect that. Again, I invite you to submit your nominations by August 31st, and please check the GEO website. In addition, we have an ongoing award that will happen until June 30th. If your work is directly impacting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, we invite you to submit a nomination for the GEO SDG Awards that are open in collaboration with EO4SDG. There is indeed a wide range of work within the GEO program that is making an impact on the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, and you will see and hear that throughout the symposium week. We encourage you to apply as soon as possible, as the deadline is June 30th. And again, those details are on the GEO website. This is all I wanted to say at this point. Welcome to everyone. I hope you have a wonderful week with us, and I will see you personally at the end of the week. Thank you very much. Andiswa, back to you.
Thank you very much, Kathy. That is an exciting way to end our opening session. So 2 awards up, 30th of June and 31st of August. So get starting writing those nominations and also visit the website for more details. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end this session and move to session 2. So we now are aware of our logistics. We are aware of how the program for the whole week looks like. And the next session that we're going to is session 2, which is the GEO community response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much for joining us so early on in the symposium, and I do wish everyone a happy GEO Symposium 2020 in the virtual environment that we're in. Thank you so much, colleagues who were with me in this opening session, and I now hand over to session 2 facilitators. Thank you very much.